Today we're going to talk about a topic that is so important in the structure of the human body, but often isn't thought of by anatomy students. When we think about human anatomy, and that is the topic of tissues. The definition of a tissue is a group of cells with similar structures and functions. Histology is the study of tissues. Now, one thing to remember about tissues is all tissues, so all the different types of tissues we're going to talk about, they're all made up of two components. And those two components are cells and the extracellular matrix. The extracellular matrix is just the stuff that's made by cells. So these cells produce the extracellular matrix. Now, what is the extracellular matrix? It's stuff outside of cells again. And these are the protein fibers and something called ground substance. Now, ground substance is just this kind of semi-fluid gel that's made up of ions and water and dissolved proteins and carbohydrates. So it's just this kind of gel-like stuff in which the fibers and the cells sit. All right. Now, protein fibers are produced by the cells also, and there are three main types of fibers found in all tissues. And we can start with collagen. Now, collagen is by far the most abundant type of protein. In fact, 25% of all protein in the body is collagen. These fibers are tough and they're flexible. They create a lot of the flexibility, and we'll talk more about that later. The second type of protein fiber is elastin or elastic fibers, and these are, of course, stretchable, and they're a coiled type of protein, all right, if we were to look at its structure. And the last type of tissue is something called reticular fibers, and these are similar to collagen in that, but they're branched. So similar to collagen, except they're branch proteins, and by branching, it forms this network fibers that support organs and other tissues. All right, so that's kind of the general information about tissues. And in the body, there are only 4 types of tissues. So 4 classes of tissues. And these are the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is found covering surfaces and lining organs and body cavities. And then later on we'll talk about the different types of epithelial tissue and how to classify them. But right now we'll just talk about generalities. So covers surfaces, lines body cavities, and organs. Okay. A second type of tissue is called connective tissue. Just like the word says, connective. It connects other tissues and organs together. So it also has a protective function. So protects, binds structures together, and supports. So it's kind of the glue that holds the body together. If we have problems with our connective tissue, there are disorders where the connective tissue isn't produced properly, the body actually literally starts to fall apart. And we'll talk more later about different types of disorders. All right. The third type is muscle tissue. These are important in movement, of course. they're able to contract. Okay, or shorten in order to produce movement. Allows for movement. Okay. All right. How about nervous tissue? This is the last type of tissue. Nervous tissue has the ability to, it's able to conduct information or messages over long distances. So it's conductibility. Did I spell that right? Conductibility. Okay. Let's see. Well, we'll just say carries messages over distances. Okay. So all tissues in our body is comprised of one of these 4 types of tissues. And you know, when we look at organs and systems, you'll find that each organ is made up of many of these types of tissues that work together. And you know, when we get into more detail, you'll be able to see, oh, that's epithelial tissue, that's connective tissue, oh, there's some muscle tissue. And always remember that that it's one of the 4 types. And remember that each one of these 4 types of tissues has those 2 main components. They're made of cells and they're made of extracellular matrix. And then as you look at in more detail, you'll see and be able to identify the specific types of cells and specific types of fibers in each type of tissue. All right, hopefully that was helpful.